All these rumors are fun to talk about, and Red Bull hasn't blown up yet.
Alex Albon's birthday, and his gift, Logan Sargent's car.
With the drain covers, why is this such a big issue?
That's what I'm saying.
Alonso more and more is looking like Aaron Rodgers.
He's geriatric. We just kind of want him for merit mark.
You cannot win a constructor's battle when your second driver is not performing.
Grab your popcorn, folks. Things are getting crazy.
Hey guys, and welcome back to Lights Out Latest. My name is Marina. I'm here with Jason, Tristan, and Steven. Now, we might be a day late, but there was nothing to talk about, so it really doesn't matter.
I was going to say, but we're not $1 short, so we're good.
I want to start off with something that came to me via Steven, I'm pretty sure. And I have never been so excited to watch an Instagram reel in my entire life. When I found out that Drew Allar, Penn State quarterback, for those who don't know, is a Formula One
American
fan.
football.
Yes.
I don't think there's a quarterback in any other sport, though.
Yeah, I feel like that one's pretty self-explanatory.
True. Yeah.
But hopefully people know.
European football?
Anyways.
Maybe.
I don't know.
No. Anyways, I was so excited. And then he said there were other people, like other players on the team who got him into it and are now into it. So I was like, yes, this is the content.
You have to imagine there has to be a watch party.
Oh,
Of
absolutely.
Penn State football players watching races together. And they should take the easiest communications class ever, aka COM 197.
Yes.
That I taught and Marina teaches. Yeah. And we need the Penn State players who are all in COM. They're also in our PTA.
Yeah.
To take the COM class. Take it, please.
So here's the thing. How jealous would you be if I actually had a football player in my class this year and you weren't teaching anymore?
That would be okay with me. You see, I'm a huge Penn State football fan. Now, that's also ironic because now that I work for the team, like, if I see these people, like, I can't freak out over them.
Right.
So, like, literally, Trace McSorley is back as a coach, and I see him, like, we have all staff meetings, and I'll see him, like, walk past me. I'm like, throw it on a dime, brother. But I can't, like, say that. You know what I mean? So that's, like, the situation. Yeah. So I would be very happy. I wouldn't be jealous because I don't know if I could, like, if, like, Drew Allar is, like, looking up and, like, staring at me, I'm going to be like, are you staring at me?
I think the only...
Like, or if I did something weird in class, I would be like, oh, did I throw him off this week? Like, I don't know.
I just don't know, like, how I would teach in front of them.
You'd
like,
have to teach them like normal.
Yeah. I can't. Like, I would freeze, especially on the first day.
You know, I don't know. Us had it. Obviously, we all. Well, actually, Jason might not have, but Poorman sees all of them eventually.
Absolutely.
So, like, you gotta adopt his method, which is like just being completely normal, treating them like normal people. And
I was gonna say, you got like call them out. You got to call them out.
That's what we're calling them out. The second it becomes relevant.
I don't know if I'd call them out. I would try and form some sort of like basic relationship with them for, like, selfishly for myself, like in the future, and like podcasts, like that would be so cool of like a connection to make.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I loved that finding out this was a thing because I never in a million years, if you had told me like Drew Allar is a Formula One fan, I would have been like, what?
Yeah.
And I just think it's so cool. I also love that he thinks Oscar Piastri is going to win the championship. So take the L to Lando Norris.
L is for Lando.
Mm-hmm. That's a good one. Anyways, moving on. Verstappen contract. Now, not so. I guess it's no. I'm like,
I knew it would never happen for next year. I kept saying if anything's gonna happen, it's 2027. Sure, he has to out, but they're gonna let Yuki expire. They're gonna let
that's a crazy
Mercedes contracts expire. So then all the shuffling will happen then.
Yeah.
I just think it's really funny that, like, even though we're pretty confirmed, we're pretty sure that the Max to Mercedes move isn't happening. I think it's funny that George still hasn't even been offered a contract. It's not that he hasn't signed one. He has not been offered one. And we're going into the summer break. Like, who's realistically going to replace him? No one besides Max. Yeah. Max is the only one I would say.
Sainz comes out of nowhere.
Alex Palou would be insane.
He's not doing that. He's already talked so many times. He's staying in IndyCar.
He doesn't.
I mean, if
he
you're
would
gonna
be
win
destroyed
like,
in
how,
F1.
like 9 races or something like that, and just keep winning championships, why would you want to leave?
Yeah,
No,
this is
for real.
what his fourth championship
Something like
consecutively
that.
Can't remember.
for Palou. I think this would be his third.
I'm not sure.
Third.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he's legit the Max Verstappen of IndyCar.
What's crazy
it's
is like
hearing that,
before this year,
and I
he's
don't know how
never
I feel
won
about it.
an oval race. He's insanely good at all of the circuit races. Never won an oval. Pulls up to the Indy 500. Doesn't even qualify up front. Like qualifies like front mid. Wins the whole thing against previous champion Marcus Ericsson, and wins more ovals and just keeps winning.
Yep.
Like
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's not even a championship this year.
This will be
Well-
a 4th championship for him.
It's literally like Max Verstappen 2023 is happening right now in IndyCar.
Oh yeah.
Alex
Yeah.
Palou.
I mean, you have Alex Palou, who will also have the same amount of championships as Max Verstappen, and I would say Lewis Hamilton. Scott Dixon is the Lewis Hamilton of IndyCar. I would say.
Yeah,
Unk
I mean,
got
he
it,
even
though.
won this year.
This is pretty cool.
Unk still
Yeah,
got
he-
it
he
in
won.
IndyCar.
He won.
Yeah,
but I mean,
I don't
think
think Lewis is winning another race. That might be a hot take, but I don't think he is ever gonna win another one.
We saw Unk almost still have it this weekend. I mean, we almost saw it.
But like,
I don't know, man.
A Chinese sprint race champions.
oh yeah, you
That's a
really
win.
thought that was a turning point for you, didn't you?
Chinese sprint race champions. I'm keeping that.
Hey, next year's our year. Next year's our year.
Yeah.
Next year's our year. That's right. We need year 2. Year 1 to Joe, year 2 to win. Right.
Year
Yeah.
2.
The other thing I think is interesting is obviously there's been like statements from both sides and stuff about the potential move for Max, but then what is more interesting is that half of the paddock seems to think that he's not leaving because the clause expired. The like clause saying, hey, if he's P4 or lower, he can leave. And
Come on, he's got to have a lawyer good enough to like, talk his way out.
Right,
Oh,
but that's what I'm
absolutely.
saying. There's that part. There's also part. The other half, the paddock is saying it doesn't expire till after the summer break. So it's like, okay, if he decided not to go, that's this whole separate thing. I don't think it has anything to do with contract, especially because we heard rumors that it was greenlit that to be bought out. So it's like,
Right.
I don't know.
You see, I think
You've gotta
he's
have
giving
lawyers
Lord
good enough.
Mecky's a chance because, like, Christian Horner, obviously his dad, Yas hates him. Yas the boss hates
Oh
him.
my god! Please tell me
Um,
you saw Nico Rosberg talking to
Oh
Jos.
my god, I was about to talk about that.
I love that Nico is on the
Oh,
pod.
you
We
won't
need more
talk
of
now.
Yeah.
him. We need more of the Monaco-based
Hilarious.
YouTuber.
Oh.
Yeah, Nico was a menace this weekend.
He
Always
always
I was gonna
is.
say, always
He's so
is.
good.
Yeah,
He
so
asks the
good.
questions that need to be asked.
He
He's
literally
also
doesn't
George Russell's like biggest fan. So
Yeah.
I'm
I think
here
he
for
has
it.
just enough respect in the paddock to be able to ask those questions without getting like fired. Like,
You see, he was a race car driver too, which means like he knows when to ask the questions. Like he knows when they're in driver prep and like
Yeah.
can't say anything. And
Yeah.
he knows like when
Sure.
is the right time and how to ask it. And like
no, 100%.
you know,
Wow, you
So-
can
so
ask
good.
Jos Verstappen any question you want. That dude sucks. So I mean,
Oh,
Yeah.
facts.
I can do whatever you want to him.
I hate
I
that.
don't think he's leaving. You know, Marco is still there. Marco brought up Max.
But
I
what is
think-
the? I mean, does he care about Marco? Like, I mean, really?
I think
I feel like
that-
it's like an
I think
Andy and Toy Story situation. I'm playing with you.
Yeah.
That's
I
great.
Toy?
I think it
Well,
answered
Marco
a lot of
hasn't
questions.
found
this
anybody
weekend,
better
though.
yet. Once he finds
Marco's
somebody better,
Yeah.
then it's going to be an issue, right?
Yeah.
Like
I don't think there is
2015
anyone better.
exactly. Like at
No.
least Marco had Max in the program when Vettel left. Like Max was
Yeah.
in Toro, so
Yeah.
when Vettel left, and he came up the very next year, right? There's no equivalent. They're out of drivers.
Yeah, they're running
Like, they're
out
out of drivers.
people, and they keep reducing the number of drivers too that they have in F2 and F3. Not just
Yeah.
because they're getting called up, but because like they used to sponsor Enzo Fittipaldi, for example. They don't anymore.
Yeah.
They have Arvid Lindblad. I believe they have one. They have Pepe Marti, I think, also in F2. But then it kind of starts to fizzle out. Like they're really running out of people. running out of drivers. They don't have anyone to replace Max. Like, even if you think right now, if you're not pulling from somewhere else on the grid, who's your fourth without Max? There isn't
Isaac
one.
Hadjar.
Danny Rick.
I would say.
Well, no, because
Danny
who's your
Rick ain't
fourth?
coming back.
Isaac is one of those four, whether he's in a Racing Bulls or in a Red Bull. It'd be Isaac, Yuki,
I see what
Leo,
you're saying. Yeah,
and
yeah,
who's your fourth?
yeah.
I don't think Arvid Lindblad is ready. I don't think Pepe Marti will ever make it to F1. And those are just the two in F2. You're going to have to pull from...
A noble Checo return.
No,
He's going to Cadillac.
can you imagine how mid that team would be? Led by Checo?
No, no.
I think Max might lead immediately if that happens.
Checo doubters. You know, I was
I'm a Checo hater. I never claimed not to be.
I was major down on Checo, and then I saw Lawson fail. I saw Yuki fail.
Yeah.
And then I was
It
like...
does turn the corner a little bit when you
I will
see
say,
that
I
struggle in
respect
that
your
car.
You just have to respect Checo a little more than
Hey,
yeah.
Checo helped win in 2021. Checo won races. Checo had a great 2022, great start to 2023. Won a couple races.
Yeah.
And then since that, whatever happened to the car, he just never adjusted. So I have major respect because Checo was winning in that car. It took Albon forever to get a podium in Red Bull. It took Gasly forever to figure it out in Red Bull. He's always off the pace, but Checo was on it right away. So I will always remember him as, after seeing how these last two drivers have gone, I always remember him as being
his
a
career
good
run
driver.
is still one of the most interesting too. Like,
absolutely.
And he's been in the sport so long. He finally wins that race with was it Racing Point at that point?
Yeah.
And then
From
earns
last.
the seat.
No,
literally.
last
One of the
race.
coolest
That race,
performances in a race ever. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't want to. I kind of am on the same leaf as Jason, where we see what that struggle that second car truly is.
Oh, yeah.
Checo earns a good amount of cred, in my opinion, on that note.
For sure.
But, like, it's still hard because I hate to keep going back to this argument, but it's like you put Max in that seat. He currently is kind of in that seat, even though the second car is a completely different animal. I feel like he would be good.
No,
like,
I agree.
He'll be good.
I think there's also something to be said about, like, you lose your confidence inside the team, and then it's a downward spiral, but then it's like, okay, you're crashing so much, I'm not going to give you an upgrade just so you can break it, right?
Yeah.
So then it's like, okay, now it's not, now there's the claims that it's not the same car. Well, it isn't the same car because Max has upgrades and he doesn't, because why? Because he keeps crashing on the old stuff. Why are we going to give him the new stuff? And then it just becomes this negative downward spiral. To that point, Yuki had a pretty decent qualifying after they switched him to the new floor. Do I think it was a good idea? Absolutely not. I think it was a stupid idea you could have had to bring an upgrade, only have one spare, and then decide on a wet day to give that spare, like leading into a wet race, to give that spare to your second driver. I like, people can call me a Yuki hater, you can hate me for the take, but I don't think it was the right move.
I don't think it makes you a Yuki hater. I just think you have a critical response to the way that the team made decisions. And that's not Yuki's fault. I think you just, it's critical of Red Bull. That's fair.
Yeah.
I think you're spot on, though, with confidence within a team, because, like Dale Earnhardt Jr. has talked about on his podcast before. He had one of his old crew chiefs on. He was like, Junior, he would drive terrible if you told him, or if he thought the car was bad. If he thought, even if the car was good, if he got it into his head, or his teammates weren't supporting as well, he would drive bad. But if you made him feel like he was a top dog, like he was winning, he would go out and bust ass every time.
Yeah.
So it's like, you gotta get into the psyche of these drivers. I mean, coming in especially with Checo, what was it, 4 DNFs in a row or something like that last year, or whatever it was. That's gotta suck deep down. You're disappointing your team. You're disappointing so many your fans and stuff like that. So I don't know. I would honestly say a breath of fresh air for him could do wonders at Cadillac, but I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. Well, Yuki was the one last year too that had the string of P11s.
Yes. Yeah.
Ollie Behrman's on that train right now. I think it's 5, right?
Yeah, something like that. 5 P11s in a row. That's gotta suck.
Yeah.
You're so close, but yet so far, and to not even get 1 point is really tough. But Ollie did get points in the sprint. So at least there's that.
Yeah, a solid weekend.
Yeah. What did you guys think of Laurent Meki's first weekend, besides his choice to give Yuki the floor?
I think it
You
was
already
solid.
know. You already know I value sprint wins because Chinese sprint owner.
Well, you
So
gotta
the
hold on
sprint
once you
win
gotta hold on too,
was huge in my opinion.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Anyways, no. In all seriousness, I did have to add that Yuki Tsunoda, huge Lurmekis fan.
Oh, yeah.
Apparently, I heard that was
makes
huge.
sense.
Lurmekis immediately giving him the upgraded parts instead of keeping them as spares was interesting, like you said, and risky in a rainy weekend, but definitely helped him. Yuki looked great. Great
On Saturday.
as great as
He
he
looked pretty
could
good on
be. He
Saturday.
wasn't last. So
He
I'll
was
put it
decently
that
up
way.
there. I mean,
Yeah.
upper of the
Yeah.
bottom half. You
Yeah.
know,
I'll put it that way. He wasn't
Upper
last.
bottom half.
upper of the bottom half.
I
Where did he
honestly think
finish?
Laurent is probably like the
12th?
best.
13th. Yeah.
Who's that?
Yuki
Oh,
in the race.
Yeah. I think Laurent was probably like the best thing to happen to Max at Red Bull for a while now. I think.
I think so, and I think I'll say this because I heard Laurent Mekies talking about Max. So they asked him about Max's value within the team.
Yeah.
And I think the one good thing that could potentially come out of this is I think this could take the car in a better direction. And I say that because Laurent knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think he's the right man for the job, but also because the way he speaks about Max and Max's value to the team, I can see him listening to Max.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of like Max saying, "Hey, don't give Yuki that upgrade, it's mine," but in the sense of like, "Hey, we need to take the car in this direction," and being heard.
Well, so I think exactly to your point. I'm gonna make a football reference. I don't know if you guys are gonna get this or not. Tristan, you might. But to me, Laurent is just like when Bruce Arians was the head coach of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And the reason why I say that is because I think Laurent, compared to Christian Horner, like Laurent is a very chill guy. And I think that's exactly what Max needs. I don't think he needs a guy like Christian Horner
but smart as hell at what he does.
Exactly. I think Christian was breathing down Max's neck too much. And I think, like Bruce Arians, like he was letting Tom Brady run the team in Tampa. And I think to your point, Laurent's got to let Max do that. So
it also goes back to, I mean, this is so off key, but still is on key. It goes back to the allegations.
Yeah.
There was a lot of heat brought on Red Bull that like Max unfortunately had to comment on and be a part of, even though he had nothing to do with it.
Yeah.
And he freaking hates that. Like he doesn't like that at all.
Yeah.
He's like, let's go out there and I'm here to race. I'm a race car driver. You know?
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Obviously he cares about his teammates, and if anything bad was happening, I'm sure he would only wish the best for the individuals that were affected. But at the same time, it's like, I have my job. Christian messed up, and now there's a lot of heat on the team because of him.
Yeah.
Laurent doesn't have that. He's Joe Blow. I'm sorry, I hate to be that guy. I literally didn't even know who he was until Christian got fired.
I
That's
knew him by his glasses. That's the only thing I recognized about him.
It certainly looks unique.
I think there's a lot of people in that same position, though, that didn't really know of him.
But that's great. That's fantastic.
I think
it's a good start.
I think there's also, like you said, there's a difference between liking someone professionally and liking someone personally. Because Max was asked, have you spoken to Christian? He's like, yeah, I spoke to Christian today. Like, it's not like they're just completely like, he gets fired and it's whatever. No. Max can still like Christian personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not like the direction Christian was taking it within the team. And that's totally fair and that's totally fine. Yeah. And that's not to say Max agrees with the decision or disagrees with the decision. He really hasn't commented too much on it. I think he's rightfully tried to kind of stay out of it and just be like, this is what's happening. It's going to take a while to adjust, but I'm like, whatever. It is what it is.
Okay.
So,
can I add in here? I wonder how Christian feels. Like, how do you go not missing a race for literally 2 decades, not missing a race? Yeah. Like, I mean, sure, you maybe missed, but like a race weekend's happening, he's working.
Yeah.
How do you go from that to now all of a sudden it's race week and you're sitting at home?
Yeah. I wonder if there's anybody like say,
what does he do when he wake up in the morning?
Do you think
how does he feel when he sees a race on TV at his home? Which he hasn't watched it.
Do you think he was in the factory?
No. He posted a photo on his story that he was horseback riding.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Because obviously,
I mean,
it takes a while to transition. So I didn't. Yeah. I knew.
Yeah.
I was honestly wouldn't have been surprised if he was at the race. I know he wasn't, but it wouldn't have shocked me to see him in the.
His brother was there. Funny enough, you know why?
So, I don't know why.
Because his brother runs like Formula One promotions events company. So like if I want to if I'm a company, I need to be at a race or promote my product. You call him up and he organizes it.
That's
so
interesting. I
yeah,
didn't know that.
his brother was there in the paddock for his own business, but yeah, Christian wasn't there. And yeah, exactly. Like you think there would be a transition period where like
Yeah.
he's still technically employed by the company because
Yeah.
they can't like fire him without cause. I believe that's labor laws. This is a total guess.
Yeah.
Obviously management didn't like him. The new owners didn't like him. That's probably what happened. We're all guessing is like the Austrian majority ownership said no, and once they got majority ownership and voting shares, they fired him immediately. But they couldn't actually fire him. They just said, "You're not in charge of the team. We're just gonna put you to the side until we figure out how to terminate your contract."
Yeah.
That's
He
pretty
was
much what's
essentially
happening.
he was essentially demoted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, he's demoted to customer. He like,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he's getting paid out the contract, and he has to sit
Yeah.
and watch at home. Which
I
you're
wonder
right,
if
there
they
must be a
can-
transition period.
I wonder
Yeah.
if it's as simple to say that they could just, if he has a contract similar to that of like this many years, this much money, if they can just pay it out.
They could.
I
I'm
think
sure.
so.
Yeah.
You see, but they wouldn't want to pay it out at once. Like we see in sports. Most recent example, Penn State's offensive coordinator that got fired middle of the
Yeah.
season, Mike Yursich. We were paying out his contract until this past year. So
No,
it's
yeah, I don't
additional.
think they want to
yeah.
give him like a lump sum, but
Yeah.
that's just a negotiating process that, I mean, I've seen it firsthand in other terms, but kind of that negotiation of like separation and that like final, there's another contract to be signed.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
like, how are we going to go about this leave? So
I'm just curious
curious.
if it. I mean, do y'all think that he's gonna take another job somewhere else if that comes up? I mean,
I
or
don't
is he
see why
done?
not. I don't see why
I
a
think
smaller
he
team wouldn't want to scoop him up.
That's
I don't
what
think
I'm
it's.
thinking.
I don't think this is going to be a decision he's going to take. If I'm like, I think, when I say that, I mean, if the opportunity arises, I think he would jump on it. But
yeah.
But
it's
it can be so different. He built
Yeah.
Red Bull himself.
Yeah.
Like
Oh, yeah.
it was exactly how he had built
The-
it and controlled it. He's
the only
never
place
going to
I see it
have
is
that
Alpine.
anywhere else.
the only place I see it is Alpine.
Yeah,
And I say that
yeah,
because
but they're in such a
Alpine
disaster.
has. Well, yeah, Alpine has a
You gotta
disaster of
compete with
ownership too. Let's not.
Flavio.
Well, can you
Mm.
imagine though the two of them? It's
Hmm.
almost like Christian and Helmut at the beginning.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
that was
Those little
yeah.
two, like the two devils of the grid that nobody likes, running a team that's partially owned by celebrities and partially owned by a car manufacturer that, like,
Yeah.
really
The
at this
issue
point
is-
doesn't really care.
Yeah, the only
Yeah.
issue is the car manufacturer they're owned by.
Right on.
It's
They
failing.
left Red
Yeah.
Bull.
It's failing.
You know what though? This might be crazy, but what? I wonder if there's any chance he joins Aston at some point.
No,
I
they
don't
have
see
too
it.
many cooks in the kitchen already.
Oh,
They
yeah.
have
think so.
Joey. They have Mike Crack. They actually have Martin Whitmarsh, who used
True.
to be in charge of McLaren when they were
also-
really good. Marina.
I also don't think he would ever take a role where the owner is that involved.
Yeah, to your point, Marina,
Yeah.
with Alpine, I heard there's a rumor where he wants to buy a part of the team.
That wouldn't surprise me either, especially
Yeah.
if he's getting paid out a lump sum of contract.
Yeah, so he
It's
would.
not like he's
I
broke.
think that's the only way he goes to Alpine is if he gets a part of the team. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of these people do want parts of the team. Like Gunther Steiner wanted part of the team, he didn't get it.
Yeah,
Who else
well,
wanted part of the team?
that's my whole initial thing is like if he
Yeah.
gets offered a piece of the team or if he gets offered,
Yeah,
team
then he will
principal, I
go
think
to
he'll take
Alpine.
it.
Yeah,
I think he'll take it. The question is he going to be offered one? And I think right now,
I don't think there's anything right
tough.
now.
I
Yeah.
think
Yeah.
that if he had conversations prior to the news breaking that were positive, those conversations are no longer as positive because of the way the F1 community took that news. People took it
Yeah.
as a like, we love it, right? Obviously, the internal community is a different story of like people that worked for him, but there's a certain element of team principle which is different to almost any other role inside the team, which is I know Red Bull's team principal. I know Aston's team principal. I know Stake's team principal. Do you know Stake's technical director?
Mattia
Like-
Bonato.
Oh yeah,
That's actually a poor example. But my point being that my point being that not everyone just knows that off the top of the head, and it's not such a
Yeah.
public facing role. When you're being
Everybody
hired for a
knows
public
Zach
facing
Brown.
role, the
Not as many
public
people know as Andrea Stella.
yeah, well the public
yeah.
the public has some influence on whether or not he gets hired. Not directly, but indirectly on whether they even
Mhm.
offer it up, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yep.
anyways, last little bit of news I want to talk about before we kind of move in. We've dabbled in the weekend, but really get into the racing. Is the 2026 sprints were announced, and I was appalled. Appalled.
Why?
Okay, so China,
think it was
Miami,
that bad.
Canada, fine. I'm cool with that. Now, Silverstone, Zandvoort, and Singapore. Are you
They're
serious?
going to be great races. Silverstone's
have a
going to be
problem with
that.
fire.
I have-
Zandvoort already had one and it sucks. And Singapore is going to be great because Singapore is always great. So you know,
Singapore's gonna be horrible. Did you watch last year's Singapore Grand Prix?
all I
Next
remember
year, wait, next year
is-
You remember nothing.
Could be different.
Yeah.
Could be
Oh,
different.
we have,
but
we have
the year
brand new
before,
cars.
we saw George Russell test out the barriers. Thank God for George Russell testing out the barriers. We need to know
So-
that they work. And we
Just
saw
gotta
Carlos
get a routine
Sainz
check-in.
use the DRS. Like, oh my God, it was such a great race.
No,
And we
it
saw
was-
Max
That almost sounds like sarcasm.
lose.
Not gonna lie.
That was 23 was potentially one of the best races of the year.
Yeah,
If not
it
the
was.
Yeah.
But
So
I
stop
say
trash
that with a
talking
grain of
Singapore.
salt in a season where Max won almost every race, and in a season where the Red Bull was so dominant that even the races that Max didn't win, that was the only one that a Red Bull didn't win. And we didn't actually see overtakes at the end. It was just intense. So my point being, when the
Well-
race is so short, there's no tire advantages. There's barely any overtaking. Why do we need a sprint? Why?
Yeah, but like the thing I think we gotta keep in mind is that we're having a completely new car next year. You know, I mean, we can say
It
that
could
before.
change things.
It
Yeah,
could,
we have
right.
much smaller
but I don't think
cars.
it's gonna change it enough. We'll
Like,
see.
thank
I mean,
goodness
we'll
there's no
see.
Monaco sprint because that would be
Oh.
nobody would watch that.
Oh my
Unfortunately, the change in cars doesn't change the
Monaco.
structure of the track.
Yeah.
Like,
No,
Yeah.
no,
and
you're
the other
right.
thing is, Spa has had a sprint race now. This is 2 years now. This is the second year this year.
I think so.
Maybe.
I want to say,
It's 2 in a row. Yeah.
and I don't think it was all that great. First
I
of
mean, I
all,
don't think so either. I don't think
I
it was
think- I
We
necessary.
need
have
one at
something-
Coda.
we do need one at Coda.
That's
I
what I
have-
was gonna say. That was my pull.
I think Coda too is probably one of the easiest ones to work with, and I say that because there's no feeder series at Coda. So having sprints at
Yeah.
Coda, I mean, we've had sprints at Coda.
Like
It's
Silverstone's
great.
going to be
It's so much
wild.
easier to plan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because there's no feeder series that you have to worry about, like, okay, like the timings wise, because there are other races. The feeder series do double races as well, so it's tough to plan.
Mm.
Like, imagine planning a sprint race on a weekend where you're going to have F1 Academy, F2, F3,
Yeah,
potentially Porsche. Like, it's impossible. You can't fit that in on track. So I think there's that. The other thing is, Spa is a bit of an exception, but for me, historic Grand Prix shouldn't be allowed to have sprint races. And I say that because I'm fine with the sprints as long as it doesn't affect the DNA of the sport too much.
I understand
And I
that.
think that if we're already losing old historic tracks, partially because they're just not bringing as good of racing anymore,
Yeah.
so that's like 2 strikes for them, is why change that old race? Like, people are looking forward to this old historic race. Like, why change the event? I think.
Yeah.
So I have a little
Especially
bit of that.
when sprints
So-
work
I
better at
disagree.
more modern tracks.
I
Yeah.
disagree.
Oh, yeah,
Yes,
I agree.
more modern tracks it could help, but like it's more racing, so I don't necessarily disagree. You're not
Right,
changing
and
your
in
tree, you're
principle
not
is
changing
better,
the
but
track.
like, is it really necessary?
I'm torn on it with
Right.
Silverstone because I actually think it adds to the Silverstone weekend.
yeah,
Do
yeah.
you?
That's the
Silverstone
only one I'm
racing is great.
I mean, besides Zandvoort, I do agree. I don't think it should be there. I think replace Zandvoort with Coda for the sprint. Keep
Yeah.
Silverstone, and then Singapore. I really, honestly, just couldn't care less. I think it would be fine. And then also, if you gave me a better idea, I'd be like, okay, that's fine. Like, I
Yeah.
mean, I don't know.
Okay, so like I would do China, Miami, Canada, Coda, Brazil,
I was thinking Vegas would be good for a sprint weekend.
Ooh, that'd
Essentially
be
true.
interesting.
Yeah.
Vegas wouldn't. I don't think Vegas would work for a certain weekend for the same reasons of. I think it'd be really tough for the timings because
Well,
I feel like
Right, because they do it Saturday night, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like
Alright,
it would
true,
be
yeah,
really
so
true.
maybe
tough.
not.
that's 3 sprints all in the United States.
You know, I was thinking
Yeah.
about this though.
Yeah.
Imagine we had a USA like in-season tournament. I think that would be sick.
USA.
Oh, like who wins the
That's not-
USA? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In
Oh.
terms of racing, like, there's not enough.
They're very different tracks.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah,
I mean,
I
USA
would
is
just
like
say
the
there's
only
not
one.
enough races for that. Like, I feel like IndyCar could pull that off, and soon NASCAR can too. Saying like,
No, NASCAR
who won
has
all
one.
the ovals this year, and who won all those
Yeah.
the road courses this year.
Yeah.
That would be cool to add up. And see.
In-season tournament only makes sense if you did all 3 of those races in a row.
Well, that's
Because
what I was
then
thinking.
Vegas
Yeah.
would like not care if you did Coda and then 6 races later was Miami.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
okay, wait, this
Well,
is the
that-
thing. We forgot about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It,
I
would
think-
it'd definitely be back to back to back.
Yeah.
That's the way I
Well,
would
to
do it.
your point about the sprints all being in the U.S. But there's 2 sprints in the U.S. this year, and there was 2 last year.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
One couldn't
Miami,
hurt.
Miami
But
and
is 2
Coda
okay?
are already
And
sprints.
then is 2
I'm
okay and 3 is
fine.
too much, or is it doesn't matter? Like
No,
I don't
I
know.
I don't think Vegas needs to be a sprint. I think Vegas doesn't need to be touched. But I think
Yeah.
having Coda and Miami as both sprints isn't a bad thing.
No,
There's
I
nothing wrong
agree.
with it.
No.
My only
If
argument
anything-
was it
If
wasn't that
anything,
they're
for
a bad
American fans, I
thing.
think it's better.
Yeah, I was just thinking, is 2 okay, but 3 is too much? Like that's
Oh
what
yeah,
I was.
I agree. No, I agree.
Yeah.
No, my point just being that they removed Coda from the list of sprints. It is still this year. It was last year. I want to say it was the year before as well. When I
Family.
went, yeah, it was 2 years ago. It was because I was there. So I just think, and I think again for the American fans, it is better. I think it attracts more people because you have more racing.
No,
It's
I
true.
agree.
I mean, look at a NASCAR weekend. It's 3 days of racing. It's
Yep.
Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
I think
So-
I don't know. Prove me wrong. Does IndyCar do any? Does Indy Next race the same weekend as no?
No.
I don't
Okay.
think so. No.
Some weekends, yes, but not always.
Okay.
We don't do sprint races if that's what you're asking. I thought you're asking about that.
No, not sprint races, but just a comparable format. Whereas like NASCAR does Truck Series, Xfinity
Oh,
Series,
yeah.
Cup, all in the same
Yeah.
weekend. Oh, okay.
Yeah, they do that. And what was really funny is that for the Brickyard, before it went back to the 400, they used to do Next on the Friday, and then Xfinity and the IndyCar race on the Saturday, and the Cup race on the Sunday, which
Weird.
is wild because you had
That's
Indy
weird.
Next and Xfinity and Cup and IndyCar all in the same weekend.
Wait,
That's
for
just
what
weird.
weekend though?
It was the last. It was before they went back to the oval. It's called the Brickyard Weekend.
Oh, road
So-
course? You mean?
The yeah, it was
Oh,
the
like
Indy road
Cup
course in
Series
August.
race the road course.
Yeah,
The Roval.
Yeah,
Wait, that was
Yeah,
the same
I-
weekend as
Indy.
the. Wait, no, Indy 5.
Yeah, that was
Oh no,
2023.
the IndyCar race the infield too. Oh, I forgot. About
yes,
Forgot about
yes.
that. Okay.
yeah. Not the
Yeah.
500, just a
No, I was
normal.
like, there's
race.
no way.
Yeah,
I was
yeah,
thinking of the
Yeah,
500.
no,
Could you
not during
imagine?
the
That'd be so
500.
crazy.
Or in
That'd be
Charlotte.
wild.
Drama.
Yeah.
No,
Woo. But no, I think it actually panders to an American audience, actually, Marina, when you say, because then like a Miami weekend or a Coda weekend adds to the idea of like, oh, well, we're used to, if you're a NASCAR fan or a Indy fan, like I'm used to the weekend having a race every day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You
I,
see,
I think it also saves F1 a little bit of grief as well, because for the people that still aren't on board with sprints, they're also similar to people that aren't on board with US races, period. So if you're
Yeah.
gonna go through the trouble of racing in the US, having this big old spectacle, having like the way they call out the drivers sometimes, and like all this crazy nonsense
Yeah.
BS that I
Sure.
personally don't even like,
The show
might
of
as
it.
well just have the show go on and bring in the
Yeah.
sprint as well, and just do it all. Like if that fan doesn't like sprint races and they don't like US races, they're just gonna miss that one race, and that's fine.
Yeah, that's
I
okay.
think
Yeah.
for audience purposes, that's better. But at the end of the day, it all comes down to money. Like I
Mhm.
guarantee you, most of these were decided based on who's willing to pay for it.
Absolutely.
So,
That's
Yep.
true. Yeah. I don't know.
anyways,
I don't know what would be a good spot. I
food
don't know.
for your thought.
Food for thought.
Indeed.
Food for thought. Let's move into the weekend. Sprint weekend, as we've been discussing already. I want to start with how much how much did it scare you when Lewis spun in the last corner? How did you
Well,
feel about that one?
that was terrible. And then he followed up with an absolutely banger qualifying like what 16th.
Oh
17th?
Yeah, well, he started 17th because he started from the
dude.
pit lane, but he qualified 16th. And that, if you ever seen the meme, like the guys driving in the Mercedes, he's like, "Oh, gotta be top 3, 16th."
Oh
And he,
yeah,
like,
I've seen
freaks
that.
out.
Yep,
Yeah, that
yep.
must have been Lewis.
Yeah.
Yeah, not great, but it set up a driver of the day performance.
Yeah.
So
It
that was
did.
okay.
The other interesting thing, I don't want to say interesting, that sounds so sad, but Kimmy
Poor Kimmy,
went
man.
off, and I was very happy when I saw that George's lap was significantly off because he picked up debris. But then Kimmy comes into the pit, and
You're such a hater. Jeez.
I am a
that was
hater.
just straight
I'll
up.
admit it.
You're like,
Listen,
oh,
At
it made me
least he's
happy that
dedicated.
George had some misfortune. Like, oh my
So-
god.
That is
So, like-
dedicated hating, though. That is not.
That's
not
crazy.
amateur business. She is professional in it, possibly an MD.
That's
Oh, she's got a
wild.
PhD, man. Come on now.
Yeah.
She got a PhD in
Oh.
hatred, man.
listen, when that
Just for
man,
George Russell, though.
when that man,
And
puts
Lando, don't forget about that.
one
Come on.
good
Oh.
performance that I think is worthy of non-hate, I don't hate on him.
But what?
What do
you-
you
How
mean?
many
What is
podiums
it?
does he have this year?
So
How many
every time,
podiums?
can we clarify that you can go back and watch every
You're ferociously typing on his
I was
keyboard.
gonna say, he's writing a report right now.
you can go back and watch every podcast where George Russell's on the podium, and I promise you I never said anything shit about him.
1, 2, 3. Oh my god. There's so many podiums. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 podiums. One of them is a win out of 13 races.
Congratulations.
That's more podiums than any year up to this point. This is
Okay.
a record season for
Marina,
George
has
Russell.
that convinced you to fall in love with George Russell and he's your favorite driver ever now?
No, because you know
No.
what? I don't hate George because what he does on the track. I hate him for what he does off of it. And
I don't
What,
hate him for
dresses
what he
up and,
I-
and races classic cars and hangs out, I don't know, at tea shops. I
Mer-
don't care.
that
I don't
man
pay
is
attention to that.
the grid's crybaby, and you cannot.
Wow.
No,
It's
he's
true.
We're talking
mega
media.
British.
I mean, I will say
mega British.
he is the hall modder of F1. I will give you
Yes,
that.
thank you.
I will
He's
give
Okay,
you
even
that.
the
at
president
least
of the
that. At least
GDPA,
that, please.
which used to be Roman Grosjean, which is really funny.
Which
but-
is hilarious.
But now it's George
But-
Russell, so of course, you know.
Well, see, I don't hate George for two things here. First, Maria doesn't hate George Russell for
Oh, she
what
does.
he
Yeah,
does.
okay.
No, she doesn't hate her for what he does. She hates him for who he is.
That's even worse.
That's the worst.
Oh my
That's
god.
worse.
I think it's pretty accurate. I'm not gonna lie. Maybe that makes me a horrible person, but hey, I'll take it.
She
Oh,
hates bro for
man.
being bro. Like she hates bro.
Exactly.
Like,
See, the
it's
difference for
unreal.
me is though, I just think it's funny. Like, I just think it's funny that like he's the tattletale. He's the one who he's
Such
like he's a teacher's pet when it comes to FIA. I just think it's
Listen,
funny.
Yeah.
I'm just petty, and I accept that, and I own it because I hate him for being the teacher's pet on Max, and hey, that's okay.
That's
You know
That's
what? Yeah,
okay.
fair.
I have never.
it's a free
claimed
country.
otherwise.
It's all right.
Also, George Russell has no idea who I am, and so I can hate him in peace because why does
Let's
he
just-
care?
Well,
Let's
He
just
will
work.
if you keep this up. He is in 4th place in the championship and within striking distance of Maxi Boy or whatever. So you better watch out.
So okay. How about this? Let's care to wager.
Oh, here we go.
If George finishes ahead of Max in this year's championship, I will never, ever, ever say anything bad about George ever again.
Okay, I mean,
Wow. So you would never,
Yeah,
ever,
okay.
ever.
Yeah.
Wow. This
Care to
is
wager?
huge. This is huge.
I'm gonna take that
for
bet.
I mean,
the
This
Jason-
is
president.
world
Jason, you should
changing.
Take that wager because she's not gonna.
I think
keep
it's
that.
gonna happen though, because like Red Bull's going so far downhill, and
Oh,
like
here come
George
the
is still
excuses.
like flying in. Like it's looking good.
So,
Well,
so
I'm
you want to
very
take that wager?
Yeah, we have how many races? Oh, we got half the season. Yeah.
You're taking it?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course.
Let's get a
Okay.
virtual handshake going here.
Bada bang.
There you
Yeah,
go.
there you go.
There we
And,
go.
and you have two
We
witnesses, so
could get
now it's
past this
really,
stuff.
Dude,
Yeah.
really in check.
It's notarized.
That's how much
Yep.
faith I have in Max Verstappen.
Man,
So-
let's just hope we never have George Russell as a guest in the pod. That's all I'm saying.
Yes. Get him in.
That would be the most awkward conversation.
Get him
Tier 1 driver George Russell, welcome to the
It just turns out
podcast.
he watches all the shows, and it's just like, I know all about you, Marina.
Anyways, I was going to talk about Kimmy, but it feels like we're going from laughing to depressed, which is kind of how I felt when I saw the video of him basically walking into the media pen crying.
Yeah,
that was
that was
so
tough,
sad.
man.
But then also
Bro
finding
had,
out
like,
Lewis.
the worst F1 weekend ever.
He really
pretty
did.
much. And then Lewis, but I did think it was cute that, well, I don't know if cute's the right word, but whatever. I thought it was nice that Lewis
Nice.
went in. Lewis was in the Mercedes garage. He went, he talked to him. He was like, dude, apparently something along the lines of, dude, it's okay to have a bad weekend.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Hey,
like,
you know what?
That's my
I'll-
Chinese sprint champion.
In the best of ways, like, get over it. Like, you're gonna be okay.
I will say, I don't know if y'all saw it. I was very comforted when I saw him talking to Valtteri Bottas. I don't know what it was. I'm
Kimmy
just
or
like, man,
Lewis?
yeah. When Kimmy and Valtteri were talking to each other, I'm just like, this man knows what's
He's
up.
talking to Unc,
It's all
dude.
good.
He's
Unc
talking to
out.
Yeah.
He's talking to Unc while he still can before
Yeah.
Unc takes a trip
Becomes his competitor.
Takes
to
a
the
seat in
south
an
side of the
Escalade.
grid.
Takes his seat, yes.
Yep.
Huge.
No, I said to the south side of the grid.
No, I said he would take a seat in the Escalade. That's where you got that from.
Oh yeah,
Oh.
Yeah.
yes, he is.
Mhm.
Yes.
It's a nice seat.
However, best move of the weekend does not go to Lewis.
No,
making
it does
Jimmy feel
not.
better. It goes to Max.
Oh,
Overtaking-
gosh. Here we
What?
go.
No, it does not.
That was
Lewis
good.
overtake 3
That was
cars in 1 lap,
Oh,
and you have the audacity to say that.
Fine.
Like,
Best move of the sprint.
what the
Can we agree
hell?
on
oh,
that?
fine. Yes, I can.
Because it
Best
wasn't
move of
just
the sprint.
Max. It was Max overtaking Oscar while
Yep.
Claire was overtaking Lando. And I
Yep.
thought it was quite cinematic. It really felt
I
like
agree.
F1 movie reenactment or something.
Oh my
Too
god,
bad
I
he
finally
still
saw
lost,
that, by the way.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Okay. And thoughts?
Hmm.
You can get a very quick rating.
Okay, you want a number?
Yeah. Out of
Okay.
10.
I'm gonna give it a 7.5 out of 10.
Okay.
That's
That's
solid.
pretty good.
The reason why I
Solid.
give it a 7, I'll give it a quick review, was it was Hollywood, but it was cool. The soundtrack was cool. Everything about it was cool. It's just you can't get too involved. Like, you can't be
Oh,
like,
yeah.
Max
You can't look
Verstappen
at
will
it too
never get
close.
passed by Sonny Gray.
Yeah.
Except for, I mean, the one scene where Max flips him off or whatever,
That
going
was so
down. I think it was Monza. I was like, that's awesome that they gave Max a cameo in that way. They were like,
Yeah.
Max, you do that.
And
Like,
also, that's
Sonny-
happened
I think-
before. Yeah.
Sonny
Yeah.
That's
passed
a
him
thing
like-
drivers do. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
Sonny
think
passed him in like a jerk way, and then Max
Yeah.
just blew past him. It was like, get the what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
I think it's funny, and I think honestly, like, again, I've said this several times this year of like my respect level and my liking for Lewis going up and up after it was deep in the trenches in 2021. And I think it's really great. It's really interesting that like Lewis is a producer on this movie, and yet,
Yeah.
one of the greatest lines for me of the whole movie was Brad Pitt getting passed by him and going, "Damn, he is good."
Yeah,
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 that's
like,
pretty
You
Middle
like
cool.
do that in there.
middle
The
finger
best is
cameo,
throughout the whole
and then
process.
all
Lewis
of
was like,
the-
"Yeah, I'm consulting to make sure all the racing is realistic," and he had to, that's where the realism is saying, "Damn, he's a fast
Yeah.
driver."
Yeah, damn, he is good. And then there was all
And then
the
he let
with like
he
the
let the
montage of
secondary-
the podiums, which worked out
Oh.
for me because
Yeah.
it was the season where Max
Yeah.
won like every race, so he was in
Yeah.
every montage. So
dude.
I don't know.
The fact
That's
that
pretty
Lewis
good.
made himself the final boss too is hilarious.
Yeah, that was so good.
Like, that
Yeah.
shot on pit road was really cool when they were getting
Yeah.
back into their cars after the red flag. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was
Yeah.
pretty sick.
Yeah,
Yeah, the flying car at Monza wasn't very cool.
And it happened in 2019, so I'll defend that because initially I was like, "Wait, this is so unrealistic," and then I was
No,
like, "This
was that not an
happened
F2
in
crash?
2019." It was an F3.
F3. Yeah,
Oh,
They used to
yeah,
have a
yeah.
sausage
Well-
curb there, and it launched them like just like the movie, like straight up in the air, right? Flipped over a couple times and rammed into the trees. Now,
Yeah.
was there fire? No, not in real life. That wouldn't.
Yeah.
That
I
but Monza
think
crashed like that. But the
Yeah.
driver broke his spine and like flew into the trees. Like
yeah. I
a horrific
think
crash. There's other unrealistic things, but
Yeah.
like out of the realism, like that did happen. So I'll give that a slide.
Man,
Yeah.
I'm pissed because I
I-
feel like we could do a whole episode on the movie now. Like a whole.
Yeah.
No.
We
Oh
can.
yeah,
Oh,
we
absolutely.
could.
Yeah.
And I think too. Well, I would say before we like move back to the race, I took my grandma to see it this week.
Oh, nice.
She hated it with everything in her
No.
being. But, and I will say, and this is kind of going back to the F3 crashes, because she remembers everything. She's been watching the sport since, I don't know, the 70s, the 60s, something like that. So when you see a crash, like the crash that Sonny Hayes' crash, that's a real crash from 1993. Like,
Yeah.
so it's like, it's not, in that sense, it was hard for her to get into it at all, because everything like every crash you see, every like overtake, even some of the things I've seen some people go back and like do some deep dives and find that like there's that shot of him going up Eau Rouge, that's Pierre Gasly's car they CGI'd to
Yeah.
be-
Or it
to
was, I think it was
So
Charles
it's like-
Leclerc, Max Verstappen, or Fernando Alonso at Mexico.
yeah.
With Sonny to overtook at Mexico, he like just barely touches the grass and then overtakes Max.
Yeah.
That may have been Fernando.
So I think that that's
Yeah.
where for some like extreme fans it lost some points, because it's like everything I watch, if you watch F1 for so long and you're so intense about it, you can see what that actually was. And I think
Yeah.
that makes it hard. But I also, on the other hand, is like if you're going to make it something super realistic, there wasn't any other way to do it, because it's not like they could bring those cars actually on track. No team was going to agree to shoot sequences. It just wasn't going to happen. And even if you are going to shoot sequences, they're going to end up being influenced by other sequences you've seen in real life anyways.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
um
It's tough.
I guess my last question. I don't remember. Did MBS ever make an appearance in the movie? I didn't see him.
I don't
Stefano
think so.
did, but I don't think
Stefano
MBS did.
I don't
Yeah.
think MBS did. Thank
No.
God.
I was trying to look
the
for him.
movie
So I was
theater
like,
would have been a little bit chaotic had that happened.
You're like,
I will
As
say,
long as we had my Chinese sprint champion, that's all I needed.
man.
tying into kind of news, so we can at least claim that this was a bit of news talk. I did see that they broke the 500 million threshold.
nice.
and-
It's the
So-
second highest grossing racing film of all time, only second to Cars 2.
That's
yeah,
funny.
I think that's a bit tough to beat though. Cars
That is
2
Yeah.
tough
was
to beat.
epic.
I'm actually
Yeah,
surprised.
Cars 2
Cars
was-
I would
2 broke
actually,
more.
Yeah.
like to say that if Max Verstappen had not been, again, I'm the biggest Max Verstappen fangirl in the world. If Max Verstappen had not been in this movie as much as he was, I would probably put the Cars movies above this one.
Wow.
That's fair. That's
Damn,
fair.
they actually killed it. They had a $300 million budget and they scored $5. That's
Well,
awesome.
Yeah.
It's crazy
So
because
far, and it's
Apple,
still in
Apple,
theaters.
yeah, Apple was talking about making a second one, and
Yeah.
because of the success, I know they're trying to buy the rights to Formula One.
Does this
So-
mean F2? F2 the movie?
Whoa.
Whoa.
I think though the one thing you can say is I think that a sequel to this movie is at least 6-7 years out.
Yeah, I will
could
say,
go
I think
And then
this
you
is
run the
what
risk,
people
and then you run the
crave.
question
Like,
of, okay, what are you going to do with Brad Pitt? Is he a team
Yeah.
principal now? Because he's going to be almost 70 by the time you can put a
Yeah.
movie together. Because
I-
again, how long did it take for them to write up this script, to get it all approved, to run it past teams, to go through all the logistics, to build a
multiple
car?
years of filming.
Took at least it took multiple years of filming. Took at least 3 years to even get it off the ground. So it's like,
Yeah.
again, it's not as hard. If you see it's already 500 million, you spent 300 to at least pitch it, it's going to
Yeah.
be a lot easier than it was
Yeah.
to pitch the original idea. However, it's still a huge investment, and
Yeah.
I would think you're going to spend more, if not at least 300 to film another one.
I think
Listen.
you could go two ways with it. I think you could either do a prequel, like him is growing up like karting.
How
F2,
do you film a
F3.
prequel?
That's even harder.
That's
but then-
harder because how do
Yeah.
you film a prequel with Brad Pitt at 67?
I don't know, CGI or something. Or you could go the other way. You can do like, I don't know. To your point, it's gonna be like 60 or 70 when the second one comes out. So maybe you do one that's like, I don't know, 15 years in advance.
Yeah.
How
Yeah,
Lewis
I don't know.
Hamilton won the Chinese sprint. That would be a nice one.
That's where it
Yeah.
picks up.
So,
Yeah.
so if I was gonna put more effort into editing this podcast together, I would most definitely put a little tally of how many times you said that. This
Say what?
Well, he
Lewis
did
Hamilton
win,
Chinese
so you can never
yeah.
take that away
least,
from him.
like 6.
Okay.
At
You
minimum.
start doing like over unders on this stuff.
Yeah.
Here's the bottom line with the F1 movie.
Mm.
It has inspired and brought to light Days of Thunder 2, which is the OG, like to what F1 to how F1 filmed. Days of Thunder was the OG. That's all I need to know. That's all that needs to happen.
And
For
I
those who
have
don't
a-
know, Days of Thunder is basically what F1 is for NASCAR. That movie. So yeah.
Yeah.
I have one more
Okay.
comment about that fun movie, why it's so successful. Is like in the world of sequels and remakes, this was an original film, and not just original film
yeah.
like
Good
Gran
point.
Turismo the movie was an original film, because they basically refilmed at Hungaroring 5 times and it looked terrible. But
Mm-mm.
is a high budget, high production original film, not a cheap made for streaming only, not
Yeah.
like it.
No, that's
they
a
went
great point.
all in, and they got repaid massively. Like this was a
Yeah.
quality movie that
Yeah.
people have gone out to see in the world of streaming. Like
Yeah.
so impressive, and really
Yeah.
proved to
Yeah.
people like if you do it right, the people are going to show up.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
so perfect.
I
mean,
will
that's
say I
what
still listen to
Disney's
the
getting.
soundtrack too.
Oh yeah, I
Yeah.
do too.
Yeah.
And I think that's what like Disney's getting a lot of slack for now. Is like, when was the last time Disney put out a good original movie? Like it
It's
just
so much.
doesn't.
It's
Yeah.
very true. They're getting hit with
We-
a lot of bombs in that end.
They're
Yeah.
doing sequels and
Disney's
live
kind of
action.
falling off.
That's a film term.
Yeah, yeah.
Disney's hitting us with a lot of sequels
Man, I
and
love
live
bombing
action.
Disney World.
Oh
Man,
my
that sounds
God.
great.
Dude,
What the? It's a Formula One podcast.
And we are demonetized.
You said
Wait.
bombs.
We're making money anyways. Unless the Marine is pocketing it all.
This video is sponsored by the Max Verstappen fan club.
yeah, pretty much. Anyways, no, you're so right. I never thought about that, but I think that's huge to their
Yeah,
success.
I never thought
Because-
about bombing Disneyland either.
Oh my god. We
Well,
have
you know,
Okay, I'm sorry. I'll shut
Alright.
up. I'll shut up. I'll shut
So
up.
speaking of
I'll shut up.
dive bombs,
Oh.
To be fair, if there's
Wow.
any race we
I'll
don't
shut
want
up.
to talk about, it is this one.
that's so
True.
fact.
We're saving you time and money.
Speaking of dive bombs, Lewis had some good ones during the race.
He did.
To get back on
That was my
topic.
favorite part about the
Yeah.
highlights. It was literally just a highlight Lewis overtake montage. Like that was it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're a Lewis fan, that was a pretty decent race. You got a lot of action from him.
Yeah.
Obviously he didn't finish like on the podium. That would be a much better situation. But at least you got the minimal action that we got was
Yeah.
like the only thing that happened pretty much.
And Norris losing the lead.
That was glorious.
Ooh.
That was great. I was
And then
yelling.
he robbed us. Like the final 3 laps and,
Oh,
and
the
4,
pit was so
5. Like the
epic.
final 10, he was
he
fast enough
was
to
so
catch Oscar
He bottled
Piastri.
so
He made
hard.
like 3 lockups and ran wide and like
Yeah.
totally messed it up. He had a chance to win, and he, again, as the British would say, bottled it.
Bottle
Yeah,
up.
he did. But also like I hate to say I told you so, but like are you surprised? Like I've been saying this for months.
Yes, but you don't have to say it.
It's the Stephen A. It's the Stephen A. Smith clip. Yes, you're right, but you didn't have to say it.
I think and here's my one thing is like at this point I've gone all in on like the Lando makes too many mistakes to be world champion, and I think I will talk about this because I had a pretty good poll, I feel like, in our group chat during the race because it was so boring that we've resorted to talking about other things. That I said, if Lando doesn't win the championship this year, he is very likely to be remembered as Daniel Ricciardo is. And I say that because Daniel Ricciardo is remembered as a great guy who was never able to win a world championship. Even in like
And you know what?
his
Right.
like goodbye from Drive to Survive, Will Buxton said, I always thought Danny Rick had at least one championship in him.
Yeah.
And I think that's what people like. And honestly, there's a good chance.
Well, that's
No,
why
he could still win one
that's
further
why-
down. But for now, at least, that's what I would claim.
I have a
Jason's
great
gonna
point
say
for
God.
you,
something.
Sabrina.
Like,
You know, and Will Buxton was wrong. and that's why he's an IndyCar now. Like all the other F1 drivers that flame out, they go to IndyCar too. So he's there too.
Will
Bro, but
Buxton
like we're talking like Lando's
saved
like
F1
40 years old. He's
I was gonna
20.
say,
No.
yeah.
And that's what I said. I said, granted, I literally just said, granted, there's still time for him to win one down the line. But for the time being,
Yeah.
it sets up that reputation of like.
But
And I
Yeah.
also
Like,
think
to
being that
clarify-
we've seen how negative he can get on himself, the negative spiral that can be created in Lando's
I
brain.
mean, did you see what he said though this weekend in regards to that?
In regards to what? I don't watch
He's-
Lando Norris interviews. I'm sorry.
No,
That was
he
a
said
total joke, by the way. I've watched countless Lando Norris interviews and press
He-
conferences.
no. This is kind of sad.
Backtrack
He said
was
that
crazy.
he said he was talking about how
Just the
of course
facts.
he's half Belgian and his mom was there and a bunch of his family was there and he said, yeah, I felt like I let my family down with this one.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
and my point being, right? So, how many people is he going to feel like he let down if he loses the championship to his teammate?
the whole
How,
country,
how
Belgium.
negative of a spiral could it
The
create?
whole country of Belgium.
That's crazy. No,
Yeah,
the whole
it's
country
I
of
would
Belgium.
Belgium.
argue-
Dorn, and you
I
saw
would
what
argue
happened.
the
He had to go to
country of-
Formula E. He got embarrassed so bad.
I would argue the country of
Stop.
Belgium has more stake in Max Verstappen than they do Lando Norris. But hey,
Yeah, I totally didn't realize that he was born there.
Whatever
well,
he's
Max
something
has
I
more
learned.
history with the country than Lando
Lando?
does for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Lando has,
I do.
Max was
I
born
do
there.
need. I do need to clarify. I do not mean to disrespect Will Buxton there. He's a great commentator, and this was a promotion for him to be the lead commentator. So great
But
work.
was
for him.
it though?
Although he
Was it
still
really?
calls the pace car safety car, which is great. So I'll take it.
Yeah, I'll take it. I
Yeah.
just love like Will Buxton's voice is very soothing to me.
Oh yeah. It's
Yeah.
nice.
So when I
Not
like,
an IndyCar, man. That guy dials it up like he's Crofty. Like he dials it up. He's good.
I think that every time I would walk down the stairs and IndyCar's on or whatever, and it's like it's so soothing. It's so like I would want
Yeah.
to watch. I want to watch this all day
Yeah.
long.
He
Will Buxton.
is the Chinese sprint champion of IndyCar commentating.
Oh, my
Oh.
god!
You
You're
got
never gonna let this go, man.
I'm
Got to
so-
admire the man's grit to throw it in there when he can.
This is the new that
Because-
George Russell was a tier 1 driver.
Listen,
That's
because
what this is.
he's got to die on this hill because he's never ever going to see this man win anything else.
If that's it, that's really sad. I gotta say that. That's really sad.
Well, next year, he's got the
You've been
contract.
saying that for how many years now? Since 2008.
As long as there's the next year, there's always a chance.
Anyways, Oscar Piastri won the race. There we go.
Yes.
He did. He
This
did
is
do
true.
that.
Bada
That is
bang.
right.
I feel like we can't do this podcast justice without very briefly mentioning an hour and 20-minute red flag and the atrocity that was when we finally got racing and it was basically bare bone dry.
You mean when an F1 tried to use a leaf blower to draw off a track?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really
mean that
liked
thing?
those NASCAR comments. I thought they were great. But more importantly, do we think they took it too far and should have let them race sooner?
I think so.
Nah.
Okay.
You see, what
Why do you always
I
have to be
did.
different? Why do you always
What-
be different?
See, Maria, this is the thing. This is the thing I'm learning. I don't know if you all are noticing this too. Jason is basically George Russell, but younger, if we're being honest.
Wow, what a compliment. You see, here's a guy that understands
fed his
what
ego.
I want to do.
Just
that-
fed
that-
his ego.
I mean,
Oh,
Goodness.
he is
anyways,
the Chinese sprint winner, so there is that.
would you
I
like
love-
to try and tell me why you don't think they should have raced sooner? Like,
The only thing they should have done sooner was run laps behind the safety car. That would have cleared the track faster. Now we would have had less racing laps, which is not fun.
Yeah,
But
that's not
if they
great.
would have started the safety car laps sooner, that might have helped. Now
I
the only
have-
thing is like, you know how there's that 15-minute window of no rain before absolutely downpoured? We would have had like, I don't know, like what, 8-9 laps, and then they would have red flagged it.
Yeah.
And then we would
Yeah.
have had to wait all that out. And then we would have got racing after that and had less racing too.
but
So
one
I
of the
think it was
greatest
overly
races of
cautious.
last year
But that's not bad.
had that. One of the
Yeah.
best races of last year was Brazil,
Yeah.
and they started. It was raining. it picked up a little bit. They kept going through, and then when it actually hit hard, they just red flagged and came back after. And
Yeah.
even the second half of that race, it was still like, it's not like they let it stop raining and then waited forever and then went racing. As soon as it stopped raining, they called the 20 minutes and we're back on track
Yeah.
right after. And that's
It
my
all-
only thing with this. And Max said it too, was like, if you're gonna have wet weather tires and intermediates, let's go racing in the wet.
Yeah.
We've had some spectacular classic wet
Yeah.
races.
I don't know who
Yeah.
it was that said in the group chat, but they said if you ever feel useless in life, just remember you're not a Pirelli wet weather tire.
That was me.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
a
Who
great
remembers
line.
the Super Hards from 2018? Nobody used
Yeah.
those.
Yeah,
All those
but-
super softs.
But I think that's the thing is,
Oh
like,
no, people use those in Monaco. Like they were pink walled, they look cool. But the orange
Yeah.
or blue Super Hards, nobody
I think it was
used.
blue.
No.
No, I think they were orange.
Yeah.
I think they were orange.
No,
Yeah.
it
I think
was
it- I
blue,
think it was orange,
but we
yeah.
don't know because nobody used them.
Actually, yeah, that might have been actually. The orange sound familiar, but also the blue.
Yeah, the
also
orange
sounds
do sound familiar.
Is that like a medium, maybe like a step above a medium?
Okay, yeah. So the hard was blue and the super hard was orange. Nobody
Oh,
used the
we
super
we were
hard.
right. We were right. See,
Oh,
because I
I
didn't
see that.
recall
Yeah,
ever
yeah.
seeing orange tires on a car. So
Yeah, no, they it looks cool, but
But
there
they
would be
also got rid of the
weekends
super softs,
where you would
so-
have there's weekends where you'd have hyper soft, ultra soft, and super soft.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And super soft was the hardest compound. Like
That's
that
just
was so
scary.
confusing.
That's
That
crazy.
was crazy.
Soft is crazy.
They
Yeah.
last one lap, and then you have to come in.
Man, oh
um,
wow.
anyways, yeah, I definitely think I think Max said this too. One of the other things he said was there's a line between, like, Silverstone may have been a little too early.
Yeah,
Drivers were unhappy with how early they went racing, whereas on the other hand, this was too late. And
Yeah.
even, and I think also, and it was great listening to on, like, the radios of more experienced drivers versus less experienced that had a lot to lose, right? And I'm not saying this is just because, like, whatever. It's like Lando had so much to lose. Of course, he wanted to keep racing behind the
Yeah.
safety car. Like,
mean, it's an
obviously.
advantage.
Yeah.
But, like, Oscar being like, there's too much spray down the straights, and I'm like, dude, what spray? Like, I'm on board with you. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. Like, fully just like.
Well,
Whereas Max is like, why the hell aren't we racing? And Lewis, all the way in the back too, was saying the same thing. Like, why
Yeah.
aren't we racing? Like, these mega world
well, of
champions.
course,
Granted, they had more
he's
to
the
win.
Stop.
They had more
stop.
to win. But I still think it's interesting to see more experienced drivers being like, why? Like, because again, and the other thing is they've raced in a lot worse than this. So of
Yeah,
course they're like,
absolutely.
let's just go. Because again, this new era of safety, let's say, is a lot more recent. It's the last couple of years where we've
Yeah.
really cracked down red flag wet races like this. In the past, just run it. Like,
Yeah. Send it.
come to mind, like 2016 Brazil comes to mind, or
Mm.
like there's,
mean,
there's some others.
I hate to
So
be that guy. I understand the, like, emphasis on safety, but I still, and I've talked about my other friends on it. If you choose to be in this sport, you are throwing your life into a vortex of possible unsafe scenarios.
Yeah.
I hate
This
to be
is
that
what you
guy.
signed up for.
Now,
Yeah.
I don't think that's of the benefit of the fans that, hey, you can't see 2 feet in front of you, go. They'll love it on the
Yeah.
TV. Like, no, that's not what
sure.
it's
Yeah, no.
But
There's a
these
fine line.
men are, like, and women are choosing to do that. It's your career. I'm sorry, if
Yeah.
you want to go make the millions and be a race car driver, you got to be willing to fucking send it in the goddamn snow, sleet,
Yeah.
hail, rain, whatever the hell's
Tell
going on.
yeah,
Tell him,
whatever it
Tristan.
takes to win
Tell
the
him.
Chinese sprint.
I'll
Oh,
kill it
my
on a punch in the face.
I think there's also a little bit to be said. I think this, and I saw someone talking about this online.
This has
I,
more
Oh,
than fun.
God.
I swear
He's
to
coming
God.
to bomb me now.
I don't
gosh.
I don't think I've heard too many people commenting about this, but I did hear one person say, do you think any of the kind of like ultra safety from this race weekend in particular came from the past?
Oh,
Think
say
about how many
so.
drivers we've
Antoine
lost,
Hubert
or
and whatnot.
really, really scary accidents we've had
yeah.
in the rain in Spa. So it's
I'm
like,
sure I played a part of it.
I think it
It's true.
definitely didn't help the situation because that's in the back of everyone's minds.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what Eau Rouge. I mean, yeah.
I was gonna
So-
say, yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically becomes a
True.
blind
So,
corner from
that's
what
like
I hear
your-
in those
that's your-
conditions.
Point counterpoint there, at least.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Fair
Hey,
I
get the
also-
water guards, we'll be good to go, you know?
It was interesting earlier. You mentioned Lewis starting from the pit lane, Jason, but I thought it was super interesting. They didn't start from the pit lane. The 4 drivers that were supposed to start from the pit lane, they raced. It was a rolling start. So they raced with the back of the pack.
Yeah, because they had
didn't
to
go
join
through
the
the pit lane.
formation lap. So,
because the safety car went in and they were told by the FIA to stay out, to just go with the rest of the pack. And I'm guessing it probably partially to do with the fact that we were already into the race. Like, that was several laps into, what was it, like the 70 laps or whatever? No, less. 50, something like that. I don't know. I don't
It's
even remember.
44.
Oh, look at that.
wow.
I was rewatching
Driver
Brazil.
of the day, number 44.
Man, I thought you were gonna compliment me. Wow.
Man, I really did that. I thought so too. And I was just gonna say that I was rewatching Brazil 2024 with my grandma during dinner, and that's 70 laps, so that's why I was. Anyways,
There you go.
Overall, not a bad weekend.
Not too bad.
Not a good one.
Not a bad.
Not a
Yeah,
bad
I was gonna
one.
say not a bad one, but not a good one.
Could be worse. Could be worse.
I will take the Charles Leclerc podium, and I'm sure a lot of other fans too.
Agreed.
So,
Yep.
anyways, any final thoughts?
No, I guess we can do podium predictions.
I was gonna say
Hungary.
we have predictions for Hungary.
Yeah. I want to see.
Who's our go-to order? Is it?
I usually go
Tristan?
first.
Tristan.
I thought I
Stark?
always go second
Been
to
a
last.
while.
I can't.
Yeah, I always
remember.
go last. I think it's Tristan, Jason, Steven. So
Yeah, this is about
prepare
right.
yourselves.
Yeah. I just want to see. Hold on. Oh, okay. All right. So,
Here we go.
let's see what I can conjure up in this.
Can we
this
finally?
magical, mystical mind of mine.
Oh.
Whoa.
Do you think
Let
there's
the
ever a
hands of
time
Lewis
we have
Hamilton be
gotten?
above you.
Do you
I
think
feel
there's ever
like
a
it's-
time we've gotten it right, but we just didn't know what we predicted? Or did
Yeah,
we just have no
possible.
intention?
absolutely.
It's very possible.
It goes out my one ear and the other as soon as I like say it, and then it's up to you guys to figure out like when.
The only issue is there's no you
Nice.
guys that actually checks.
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah,
Let us know in the
No, I-
comments, you know?
yeah.
Yep.
All right,
Big
Tristan, go
Um,
for it.
All right, I'm gonna roll with it. I'm gonna go flip flop of this weekend. I'm gonna think Lando's gonna get one. So I'm gonna
Yeah,
go.
the reverse swap.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna go. Okay, all right. So yeah, I'll go Lando P1, Oscar P2, but I'm gonna do a flip flop double time over
Whoa!
Lewis P3. Lewis P3 and
Wow.
that's how I'm going. So no Leclerc, so that's the flip flop.
Wow.
Well,
I
thought
see.
you were
I
gonna
see.
go Max. Double
No.
flip flop would
No,
have been
no,
That's
you
a-
gotta take.
that's
you
a
gotta
triple
take the
flip-flop.
driver of the day,
You gotta take the what
All
was
right,
he,
Jason.
Jason?
the Chinese sprint champion.
You gotta take the Chinese sprint champion.
Yeah,
All right,
never in
Jason,
doubt.
go for
never in
it.
doubt. Well, I also too for my hope, Lando P1, Max P2, and as badly as I think he would win, this track is very different than China, so he won't.
I see.
George P3.
Okay, alrighty, fair enough.
That's a very Jason prediction, I must
very
say.
interesting prediction.
Look,
Wow.
Lando, Max, George, they're all race winners this year. That's a
True.
great podium.
I just think
I
the
know.
order is
It
interesting.
just shocks me that you think Oscar won't follow up.
Yeah.
Well, you
Any
see,
prediction without McLaren both on the podium, or at least Oscar, kind of blows my mind at this point.
I agree with you on
We're
that
at that
one.
point in the season where it's like, I feel like
Yeah.
I have to put Oscar. Lando can have his moments, but even then, it's pretty consistent. But like Oscar, without Oscar, I feel like I can't predict anything.
I don't know.
Okay,
Hungary
that's-
does weird things to people
I have a little
sometimes.
bit
Like
of bias. We've established this
Felipe
today, so
Massa
let's just-
had to sit out one race in 2018, I think it was.
Wow, that was like
Um,
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like just yesterday, like
God,
yesterday,
don't say
24
that.
hours. Anyways, Steven.
All right. Yeah, I would tell you what, Oscar's definitely in my top 3. I'll tell you that much.
Well, where
Well, that's the question, ain't it?
better be behind you know who.
Yes, of course. A part of me wants to say Lando just because I don't want to see him fall off per se, but I also don't know if I see that happening. Like, you know what? Frick it. I will say Lando will win this one. Say Lando P1, P2, say Oscar. P3, definitely not the Chinese Grand Prix winner. I'll tell you that much.
Whoa! Well, he didn't win the Grand Prix.
Sprint winner.
My
That's the
apologies.
tougher
Not
thing.
not the
There's
main
less
race.
laps
Sorry,
to win.
sorry.
So it's much more difficult.
My apologize. Now I'm gonna pull a Matt and Tommy here and say this has nothing to do with like logic. This is just pure feel. Kimi Antonelli P3.
Ooh, I really
Interesting.
like that.
Thank you.
I really like that. Okay, so since we never get this right anyways, I might as well put like what I want, and then we'll see
Yeah,
if
go
that
for it.
comes true.
Yeah.
Oscar, Max, Kimmy.
Oh, your grandma's mad.
Oscar, Max, Kimi. Okay. Dang.
My grandma's probably pissed.
Yeah, she's very mad.
Yeah. She was like I said, we were watching the 2024 race just like for fun. And in Brazil, and she said she kept looking at the Ferraris and thinking it was Lewis and like getting trauma. And I was like, yeah, well, that's what you get for being a Ferrari fan. I warned you. Anyways,
Yeesh.
I think that's a wrap. We'll be back next week.
Indeed.
Maybe same time, maybe not, maybe same place, maybe not. I
We
don't
shall
know.
see.
But in the meantime, follow our socials at Let's Latest on Instagram and TikTok. Bye, guys.